Hello YouTube, it's ya boy, called Cypher 69. Ah, just kidding. Today we're doing Split. So my plan is to show a couple of setups, so you have a different, like maybe 6 different setups you can circle through. Which works pretty well. Most setups you usually use for more than 2 rounds anyways. So having 5 or 6 setups is really good. So firstly, we're doing an information setup on A. So
this goes here.
This camera, as long as your opponent don't realize, you can even put it more safe if you don't want that much information. This works too, but it depends. Just put it on here somewhere. The most important part is you can see into a man. That's really it. So we're gonna end the game phase, and this camera on pistol round, eco rounds, all of those rounds where your opponents just want to rush you, this camera will see, oh god, there are 5 people running into A lobby, we need help on A. And that's the job of this camera. And your opponent can shoot it, but unless they're a Cypher main, they don't notice it. Like, at least in plat elo or below, which I'm in, like 1 person
here
have removed this camera at the start of the round. People just don't look that high because they're worried about this angle, and later getting onto sight everywhere else except looking high above them. So, great camera. Along with that, you can do just at the start of these rounds, I like to do like simple trips, like pretty low IQ, and just check if people notice them. If your opponent's just rushing, they just run into them anyways, and you can just get a kill for free. If they do notice them, that's when we'll start using these different setups. So before we do like setups, just some solid trips are this one. You can even do like this one or this one to cover hell. But just a trip here, nice. If you go over to ramp, trip like this works pretty good. So on A, there's not that many trips without setups that you usually use. So let's get into the setups. So if you're playing A, you can do this one way, where you just stand here somewhere, you look inside this slip and you cage. And along with like this trip, you can see, okay, there are a lot coming into A lobby, can we get some help on A? And you just see, okay, they're coming here, trigger this, and you can see their feet, while they are over here and can't really see your backside. So just doing this, they come here, they can't really see you back there. So overall, good one way. You can also do a side setup where you play a little bit more back, where you do like something like this. Just pretty standard is this, where you just have connecting here, and you have a couple of cages maybe, and you can either play backside or from elbow, and you get a couple of pretty free kills. You can do along these stairs too. You also have like this one. This wire is pretty good too. So you can experiment yourself too. But like all of these wires, good for holding sight. You have a cage.
Cage triggered. Cage triggered.
Couple of cages, and you should be able to hold a sight while your team rotates. So next one, we'll have to take this camera, or you don't have to, but it's really useful. And you can do this camera, for example, where you see around, and you want to do the one way right here. And this even works on low buy rounds, where you only have an Ares, Spectre maybe, stuff like that. Where you can either just don't have any trips, like have a trip just main, so enough they're coming out there. But you watch camera, you see, okay, they're coming out the ramps, you trigger the one way, and just stand on here, and you can see them. That's pretty much it. It's just a nice one way. There's like a couple places you can have it, but most on top of this works. So you trigger it, your opponent can't see you, you can shoot them. Overall, just solid one way. And that's mainly A. Like, most people fall for this. So it just kind of works, to be honest. Now over on B. B sides. I have two cameras I like to run. It is like this one, somewhere on this wall. You can see into B main, your opponents. From their point of view, they're coming into garage. They're like just clearing these angles. They can't see your cam, but you can see their feet. They have to come all the way over here to see your cam. And then they have to look up and shoot it. So if they're alone, they run the risk of someone just having a bucky. You see them, you know they're gonna shoot it, and they're dead. So this camera usually survives, but the camera I like to use the most, you have just come on here, you jump and place it right here. You don't see as deep into B main as with the other camera, and you don't get to see that much of sight. But the important thing is you can see here, and like they either don't see it or don't try to kill it. And along with like both of these cameras work well with the one way, where you just look on this, throw it, and it lands here, where you can see your opponent's feet, while in garage they can crouch and see you, kinda, not really. Overall, you probably know that one way, to be honest. But both of these cameras work really well with it, because you can see that your opponent is coming here. And you trigger it, and you can get some kills. So over to more trips on B sides. You can do a lot of just putting it in here, or all along the trash can. You have all of these different wires, which are solid, until they start just at the start of the round, coming to B main and just spamming trash can. Then you need to start switching it up. And then you can, if they don't have a sage and wraps around, do something like this. A trip they don't expect is the plant one, which is kind of inconsistent, but let's see if we can get it. Let's see. That one. So this one, no one expects it at all, since you can't put a trip here. And if people check this, and then they check this, and try and just check defaults, they get caught in it, you can have a cage here, free kill. Nothing more to say really. You can do something like this too, where you just have along here if they really like to hug the wall. Or you can have standard just stair trip anywhere along the stairs, which makes people have to look down to clear, or they have to do something like this. It's kind of awkward. So nice trips. All of these ones are just trips you can have in mind if you're playing on site. You can also just have a cage there, and people often run into the wires. So last setup is Be Heaven. If you're having like problems holding Be Heaven or stuff like that, you can do this setup right here, where you just have those wires, that camera, and you can hold just Be Heaven on your own. You get to see into mail a bit, and of course entire Be Heaven. You can see they're coming up here, trigger the cage. Now they might just have to wait, which can also just be nice, since that means if they're doing a B-split, these people will have to wait, and you can get reinforcement, or they rush out and die, because they don't have heaven control. So if they decide to rush a cage, because they're like, oh, we have to go fast, they won't see the trips until they're like inside of them.
Cage triggered.
And you just play back here, watch your cam, see they're coming, trigger it, and get a free kill. A different variation, or a different setup overall, is this one, where you just have a one-way here. You can still use the same cam, because you just want to see, okay, they're coming into heaven.
Cage triggered.
You trigger this, and you can see their feet and shoot them. But when they're in heaven, they can't see you. They have to be all the way over here to actually be able to try and shoot at you. So I hope these setups help you. I will link a couple of content creators I watch who I have either seen a lot of these setups or variations of them, and you can try and check them out. So I hope you guys have a good day and rank up.